Benjamin Franklin said that there was never a good war or a bad peace. History is witness that in an excessive state of flux, war, or any excitement, very little good happens. And in fact, in matters as important as money, what all of us need is actually a little more peace. While external factors will always exist, there are things that we as investors and advisors can do that rest in our control to achieve just a little more peace in our portfolio. Protecting downside is the first element of peace. Many war stories, including Russia and World War II, talk about the cost of war. It's important to win a war, but wars can be very, very expensive if you lose too many of your troops in the process. This is also true of investing. In the journey, if you lose much more than your risk appetite, you may be too scared to hold on for the long term. And in the best of years, we all know that markets are volatile and cyclical. Also, the mathematical reminder is important. If you lose 10%, you need 11% to come back to par. But if you lose 50%, you need 100% to come back to par. Never forget that. Protect your downside through a single word, and that is asset allocation. Investing in a diversity of asset classes is the easiest way to ensure that you don't lose more than you can chew when you invest. The second element of peace is emotional control. Even the smartest of men and women are emotional beings and make emotional mistakes while investing. There's a very famous story of how the genius Isaac Newton bought shares of South China Sea at 180, exited the stock at 360. Then he saw his friends getting rich while holding it and then re-entered at 680. The stock went to 1050 and then crashed. When do you think Newton exited? At 175. EQ is far more important than IQ in investing because greed and fear are such powerful emotions and the desire to follow the herd is so human. Find ways to exercise emotional control and resist the urge to act. In fact, develop the urge to be a little counter-cyclical and invest more when markets are down and less when they are expensive. The third part of peace is automated investing. Automation is a great thing in any domain. It takes away the burden of activity from us, it saves time, and it's cost effective. In investing, when there is a constant desire to react to news around us, the more we automate, the better for us. We are constantly trying to time when to invest. Should we wait for another correction, only to realize fear taking over when the correction occurs? And then, by the time the environment has stabilized, markets have run up again too much, only to then wait for another correction. Timing is futile, and investing constantly is the easiest answer for many of us. Thankfully, the mutual fund industry has created a range of features to do this. SIPs, STPs, and SWPs for disciplined exits as well. Use them. Chasing consistency is the fourth part of peace. A little bit like fashion and social media, trends in markets keep changing. If infra was the flavor of the season in 2007, it was gold in 2011 and mid-caps from 2015 to 17. In a simple exercise, if you had just invested in the flavor of the season fund from 2007 to 2018 every year, and we used 7 different flavors in our study, you would have realized a 9.9% compounded return. If you had just invested in the Nifty TRI in this period, you would have returned 11.3%. Chase simplicity and consistency, especially in a country like India, where the opportunity across segments and sectors is large enough and the index growth itself will give you a very respectable rate of return. Expert advice is the last and most important part of peace. In a recent trip to Kanpur, I addressed an investor event and a young investor asked me, "There are thousands of MF schemes and 40 plus AMCs, how do I choose the right one?" Surprisingly, at the same event, present was a very famous orthopedic surgeon from North India. I asked the young investor, if you had a knee problem, would you Google the answer and try to fix your knee yourself? Or would you talk to the well-qualified gentleman standing right next to us? His answer was very clear. I'm going to consult the expert. I asked him then, why is it different in investing? We are happy to consult experts when we have a tax problem, a legal problem, or a medical problem. Why not when we have a financial problem? Forget us. Even the sharpest minds in the country relied on advisors like Chanakya for political advice 2000 years ago. The advice of an expert will provide you a sounding board during good and bad times, an external perspective that will give you peace and comfort. So let's try to make our investing journey peaceful so that the rest of life around us blossoms, because money is a part of life, not life itself. Wish you very peaceful investing.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.